Hello, and welcome to the channel. Today, we'll take a look at 5 things you should avoid in relationship. Before starting, make sure to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more future updates. Number 5. Threatening to break up. This is a risky mistake that can cast a pall over a relationship long after a furious dispute has passed. The most important aspect of a mature relationship is being devoted even when things are at their worst. You're abandoning your spouse in a nasty and cowardly way by threatening to split up, even if you're saying it out of irritation and don't mean it. I'll love you till, or I'll love you only if. You're basically saying, threatening to end the relationship is a selfish power play that helps no one. At all costs, avoid playing that card. You'll be glad you did it once your emotions have calmed down. Number 4. Comparing your partner to an ex. The human mind is wired to seek out patterns. When we see a situation that resembles something we've seen before, we draw judgments based on our previous experiences. After all, this is how we better our lives and learn. When it comes to relationships, though, this thinking can be harmful. Let's imagine your ex didn't return your calls for a lengthy period while he or she was losing interest in the connection. Your present spouse hasn't returned your calls in a timely manner recently. Finally, your existing lover has lost interest in you. Wrong. Defeat your brain's pattern addiction by remembering that each person and scenario is unique. This isn't to imply you shouldn't reflect on your prior experiences or make goals for yourself. Rather, keep an open mind and give everyone a fresh start. Last but not least, never, ever tell your partner, "My ex did that all the time." It's really upsetting to compare someone you care about to someone you don't. Number 3. Reacting on emotion. This is the most difficult for me. I'm an emotional person who prefers to communicate my emotions, whether pleasant or bad, as soon as they arise. I used to tell my now husband when I was unhappy right away when we first started dating. It was sometimes a positive thing, but most of the time I was making assumptions and reacting to those assumptions. I clearly recall my watershed moment. We were watching TV, and he was on his computer, browsing Facebook, when I noticed over his shoulder that a certain ex had messaged him. I resisted the temptation to say something, which was unusual for me. I inhaled deeply and decided to call it a night. He told me about the message the next morning on his own initiative. By taking a step back, I was able to prevent a dispute that was entirely needless and based on emotion and preconceptions. Number 2. Walking away. This is not the same as giving each other personal space. It's a good idea to take a breather during an argument to cool down or clear your mind. If you want to leave, ask your partner if you may take a few minutes to gather your thoughts, similar to pressing the pause button on your phone. However, interrupting the conversation because you're finished is unethical. My husband's aunt gave us some excellent advice before we married. She advised, never walk away. That establishes a benchmark. You'll have to go away and slam the door behind you the next time you argue to make your point. You'll walk away the next time, slam the door behind you, and never return. Her point is that enabling this kind of behavior once makes it simpler to do it again. Allowing yourself to fall down that slippery slope is not a good idea. Grit your teeth, swallow your pride, and bring the conversation to a close. Number 1. Saying nothing is wrong. Some faults or insults may appear so blatant that you can't imagine your partner failing to notice they've done anything wrong. So, rather than confronting the issue, you remain silent and moan about how they don't seem to care that you're upset. It's considerably easier and less terrible to respond nothing when asked what's wrong. It's a band-aid solution for the time being, but the problem still exists. You can either stay angry and bitter or move on and brush the unsolved issue under the rug, only for it to resurface days, weeks, or months later with even more nastiness. This concludes today's video. What are your thoughts on our list? Please let us know what you think in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates.